Hello, I'm Dr. Priscilla. I am also your Anchors of Hope coach, for some, gladiator, others, a unicorn. But I want to specifically talk to my Anchors of Hope tribe today. I want to say thank you so much, everyone, for the prayers, thoughts about my mom, and everything else that is going on in my life. My mother is home. They brought her home last night in the ambulance, but without the sirens and things. I just didn't have the what was all to bring her home in my car. So she was brought home in the ambulance. And it is amazing. She was dehydrated, and with the fluids that they gave her, she came home. She was lively, chatty, and the conversations that we had, you would not believe that my mother had dementia. Her eyesight seemed to have improved. She talked with my brother in Canada, and while talking with him, she was reading the message on his hat. Like, how does she see that? She's using the cell phone, talking to him on the WhatsApp, and she's able to read his hat. She can hear him clearly and respond appropriately, who he is, where he lives, where she lives. I'm like, oh my God. From the time that I brought mother home from rehab, we were fine. It was when I put her to bed on May 1st at about 1 o'clock, and the next morning she was lifeless. But I thought maybe she was just aggravated from being excessively active on the 1st. And I won't say exactly how I restrained her, but she was very active. On May 2nd, I thought perhaps all of the activities she had had on May 1st had exhausted her. For this reason, she was extremely tired, but she slept the entire day. She didn't get up. She didn't go to the bathroom. She didn't eat. She didn't drink water. She did nothing. On day 3, which was the 3rd, mother was like a zombie. She would look at me, but it's as if she couldn't see me. Her eyes would move. A nurse came in, and her vitals were fine, but I just wasn't sure if mother was all right. And so I called for the ambulance to come and pick her up. And they did her vital signs. Everything was fine with her vital signs. They did a scan of her head. Everything was fine there. And they gave her some fluids. So she was dehydrated. They didn't feed her. And even when they brought her home, she wasn't eating. But this morning, she seems like she could eat a bear if one would put one in front of her. So she's doing very, very good. At some point, I may visit again, and I'll bring her online. But now, Anchors of Hope for writers. This message is for you. I first want to acknowledge Francisca. Francisca, you are amazing. I'm not saying that because of what you have said about me, but your writing, I can just feel what you want your readers to know. I also want to tell you that, yes, you do have several books. The first book being Mothers, Behold Thy Son. Whether this is your second book or not, the second book or one of your books will definitely be, okay, now Mothers, Behold Thy Son. How do we do that? Show me in visual wording. How does a mother behold thy son? You've given us a lot of parameters, a lot of food for thought in Mothers, Behold Thy Son. And I believe in you. I believe in the process, and I believe in the system of writing that once you get the word out and you make this first one your best seller, people are going to be knocking down the door to get your next book or books. Okay, so thank you so much for that. I did make some notes, and what I wanted to tell you is that our coach who says everyone should know your dip. So here is my dip. As a result of being, and let me start again. As a result of being a conversational global English coach, I assist students all over the world to get into prestigious universities, as well as work with corporations to give their employees the opportunity to impact and build on their English fluency to improve connections within other corporations where English is the primary language that is spoken. If you know of someone that could use my skills or my skill sets, please let me know. Or who do you know? Now, the reason I said that is after going through this process with each of you, those of you who have been consistent, give yourself an applause and consider this my appreciation for the small wins that you have created and established, and the small wins that I can check off. Yes, yes, yes. As I learn things, I try to utilize them. Thanks, Kaliha, for showing me how to set my sessions up in chapters or units. Even though it was a late start, it is a win because I didn't know how to do that. Going forward in May, when my next group of training starts, I will utilize those as well. The next thing that I want you to know is this. Before I became a coach for conversational English, I was quite good at what I do. I love to read and I love to write, and I love to take copious notes on things that I believe that are important. What I don't like is doing a workbook. I dislike doing a workbook. And my coach has given us many, many things to do, to complete, but that's just not my style. That's not the way that I learn. I learn by writing what others have taught me. I learn by what others have taught me, not by completing a worksheet. I know that that works well, and it's a great reflection process or a great reflecting tool, but I like to create my own worksheet. I like to create my own thought patterns and watch my flow, then go back and read what I've learned from whomever I've learned it from, and that's how I roll. The next thing that I want to tell you is I have struggled with believing in myself. Although I knew I could do a lot of things, I oftentimes felt that I needed someone to tell me that you did a great job. I felt that I needed validation. I felt that if I'm doing it, anyone could do that. That was easy. There's no challenge in that. But I have come to realize that I don't need the validation. Validation is good, but I don't need the validation to understand that what I have to offer is of value. And I need to remind myself of that consistently, that what I provide has value. And someone has been waiting for me to do what I'm doing for you all. Okay? So with that said, I want to first thank each of you for making the initial investment of $19.97 in receiving your autographed copy of my book. If you gain nothing more from the teachings, the coaching that I have provided, I hope that you will feel that you have earned a valuable tool to help you create not just this book that you're working on, but your second book, your third book, etc. So I want to be sure that I mention that to let you know that I appreciate that and value that. Now, this is not, yes, it is. This is a shameless plug that I believe I asked each of you to write a review on Amazon about my book. We're going into week 7, so I would hope that each of you have actually read a good portion of my book, Anchors of Hope. If you have not finished reading Anchors of Hope, perhaps you have read enough that you can leave a review of the book. The purpose of leaving a review for the book is to help the ratings go up, and others will see what you have thought of what you have read. And I'm not asking you to comment on what we're doing in terms of helping you write your book, but what is your opinion of this book, Anchors of Hope? So if you have a mind to, if you don't mind, please leave a review of my book. And I'm saying this because you too will need someone to start reviewing your book. And of course, I will leave a review for each of you once your book is posted on Amazon. I'm also going to help you understand some of the dynamics, as I have since learned in getting your book to bestseller capacity. And yeah, that's what I wanted you to know. I'm looking at my notes now to make sure that I capture everything that I want to share with you for week 7. Of course, I don't like to do long videos because I don't like to read long videos. And this message is for, this part of the message is for Tara. Tara, for some reason, I can't remember what the title of your book is, but I can see your book, even without the title, being a workbook. The type of book that I say that it's not necessarily my favorite, but it would be a great teaching tool. I can also see it being a workbook where you actually leave spaces. If you'll notice on the last page of my book, which I don't think anyone has put anything in it, but here you'll notice I've got a page with just blank lines for you to make your notes. And as people read your book, Tara, not this book that you're creating now, but the workbook that will be a companion to your book, I can see it being, because of the nature of what you are trying to do, I can see you taking this to a conference, to a meetup, to a, you fill in the line as to whatever it is, and having this as a tool separate from the book. So the workbook would be sold separately, and you get a 2-for-1. You have your book, and then you have your workbook. Most people, I like people giving me paperwork to write on with the stems, and then I just fill in. But what I don't want is a series of lessons that I do by myself. I'm not an independent worker at this point. So I hope that you get what I'm saying here. Again, Tara, I want to encourage you, please stop writing. Do not write, do not add another word, any more words to what you have. You have more than enough words at this point. Also, Tara, I was listening to you do a live stream. I believe you were in New York or someplace, or it may be in something I read, I'm not sure. But this person suggested that when you join, he's going to publish one of your chapters, and I'm going to ask you to look back at your chapter entitled Setting Priorities. That chapter, whether you change the title or not, is powerful, and it is worthy of being read again, again, and again, along with what you did and the mindset you had to achieve to get to setting your priorities. So that was amazing, and I'm excited for you in that. Nicole with 2 E's. I really haven't read any of your work that I can think of, but I do see the videos, and I'm so excited about what you and your father are doing together. I think it is going to be an amazing read once you put it to paper. But coming up on week 7, there isn't much time for editing on my part, which is a part of, I wasn't really offering the editing, but I see that some of you might benefit from editing. And at the end of the 8 weeks, I think I mentioned in a previous video how I will continue to support and encourage you to create the best version of you. I enjoy teaching you that speaking is a full body sport, but speaking and writing is a little bit different. You have to show the speaking in the writing, but in the speaking, you actually demonstrate that. So as I've read Tara, I think we may be able to partner together. I can maybe learn some things from you as you have hopefully are learning things from me. I'm very much interested now, not just in my conversational English for global English language learners. I have discovered that I do have a talent for an imaginative talent for actually writing and making words dance on paper to the movement of my ear, what I understand. So that was something that I actually discovered from reading your paper. Leah, you also have a lot of interesting points in your writing. They are amazing. I think that you are a little hesitant to share yourself, but what you want to get to is to that authentic person that you are. You're very authentic when you're speaking, but I don't know how you are progressing with your writing. And then there's our king. I know that you're busy, Nandu. I know that you're busy. I know how extremely busy you are. But what you don't know, and for you, my king, you're not really interested in this, but I used to be a consultant for Mary Kay Cosmetics, and she would tell us that she was my coach. She was my coach in the beauty industry, that the best way to get something done is to find the busiest person, because the busiest person will allocate the time for the things that they want to do. No matter what it is, they will find the time. Now, what does that mean? What does that look like, finding the time? It may mean that you're going to have to forego sleep. It may mean that you're going to have to forego any, I don't know, entertainment. It may mean that you're going to have to make sacrifices along the way. We all have 24 hours a day. All of us have 24 hours a day. If we're not doing something between the time I get up in the morning, which might be 6:15, from 6:15 to 6:30, which is 15 minutes, I think you may have 15 minutes that you could do something. And if you can't do something between 6:15 and 6:30, then you need to shorten your sleep time. You may need to get up at 6. These are just suggestions. You may need to get up at 6 and work to 6:15. That gives you 15 minutes. And I promise you, you will be amazed at what you are able to accomplish in 15 minutes. And I know this because I have this room that I needed to clean. I think I had shared this with Kaliha when I first met her. There's one room in my house that's like, oh my gosh, I need to organize it. So what I did was I took the mindset that if I just picked up 5 things every day, and once I touched it, I had to do something with it, just 5 things. But what happened is, not only did I just pick up 5 things, sometimes it was 15, sometimes it was 7, but I did do something every day, and I have a marvelously set up room in my house. Now, where did I put those things? It may be that I need to go back through that and repeat that process. But as I picked up and moved things, I did stay true to the commitment. I think Michelle gave us an update. Actually, Michelle, I was really happy to hear from you. I had not heard from you in who knows how many sessions, but you're still there. And those of you who are just watching the video and you're thinking that it's too late, somewhere in Tara's reading, because hers is the last thing that I read, is better late than never. So you still have 2 weeks. Let's get this done. I have the evidence that I can do what I set out to do. I know from previous experience working with my students, my global English language learners, When I offer free sessions, they show up when they want to, but it doesn't matter. It's free. I was going to do it anyway. So if they show up, they get the benefit of participating in what I have to offer. What does happen many times, more so than not, is that the time really isn't convenient for them, or they're not really ready to make that sacrifice, which is perfectly fine. Obviously, I'm on the East Coast, which is a different time than where many of them live, which means that they would need to sacrifice getting up and coming to a free session. But the choice is totally theirs. So when I'm asked, could I have it at a different time? Absolutely. Absolutely, I can have a class at a different time. Will it be free? Absolutely not. And the reason it will not be free is because I value my time and I know my worth. So I have a standing Speak Excellent English Academy. It is only $19.97, the price of my book, for a month-long session with me in conversational English. No, I do not speak with them every day, but they have videos that they can access. And if they have specific questions, they can come on, leave their questions, and I will answer them primarily with a video so that they can go back and review what it is that they are interested in. If you notice that I just quickly turn my head, most of you know that I have cameras all over my house to monitor my mother. So I hear the sound, so I quickly check to see where is she, and she is safe. I want to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share some information with you regarding week 7. I know this is a bit long. If you have questions for me, I am more than happy to address them because I am your sister in the journey. I am your coach for writing, and I appreciate you. I love you, and I can't wait for us all to go to print to publish and each of us read each other's book. Bye for now. Oh, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and like and share. Bye for now. I'm Dr. Priscilla, Anchors of Hope for Writers.